You would hate to think that what's happening here is a version of what is happening tonight in Brazil. According to official tallies, a convicted criminal and avowed socialist called Lula da Silva beat the incumbent president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, by a narrow margin this weekend. And yet millions of Brazilians, millions, don't believe that's what actually happened. Bolsonaro himself has not conceded. There are protests all over Brazil right now. You're seeing some of them on your screen right now. There are questions about whether all the ballots have been counted, why so many were thrown out, millions, and whether election laws were violated in the process. So we can't render judgment on those questions, but if you care about democracy, if you think the process is essential, then you would look into those allegations. Anything less is not democracy.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Tucker Carlson is hell-bent on questioning the outcome of every democratically elected leader in the world, apparently not just here at home.
And yet what's interesting, and maybe a point of concern for the rest of us here in the U.S., is that you are no longer allowed to ask questions about this election in Brazil. And you're not allowed because the Biden administration doesn't want you to.
How do you convince people that their rights are being stolen and their votes are being suppressed? You point the finger at another country and say, look, it may be happening here too. By equating our electoral process to that of other countries, Tucker is laying down the foundation to excuse this type of rhetoric here.
YouTube, which has functioned for the last 2 years as an arm of the Biden administration, has announced it is censoring any posts in Brazil that question the election results. Brazil's courts have also rejected any inquiry into the election. In fact, a Supreme Court judge in Brazil has also ordered social media companies to remove any social media post that questions the outcome. Overwhelming censorship in a, quote, democracy, preventing people from asking questions about how the, quote, democracy functions.
He's also stating that YouTube, owned by Google, is acting as an arm of the Biden administration. YouTube, where you can still find millions of insane conspiracy theories and right-wing propaganda, and apparently watch videos of Tucker saying all of this while claiming you can't ask questions. Yet here he sits and his videos pop up on YouTube all the time. Maybe Brazil got a wake-up call following the madness that has ensued here in the U.S. and decided that they weren't going to tolerate a potential insurrection on their side. Maybe they took a lesson in history and decided to listen, versus the current American standard of burying your head in the sand.
Crackdown on free speech in the wake of Brazil's contested election is a result of policies from our country. The Biden administration has been interfering in the elections in Brazil, period.
The insanity that has consumed the right wing is so far beyond what anyone believed was possible. People openly claiming on national television that we should instigate doubt in other countries' elections, but at the same time cheer on the Russian invasion. It's beyond me how so much has changed in such little time, and that they are all selling fascism in the United States. At this point, I'm curious if all of these psychos have been radicalized by their own talking points. The stuff you see here is parallel to the madness that people like Alex Jones sell. We see how quickly it happens for others, everyday people. They watch too much Fox News and OAN and they become radicalized, like mindless zombies waiting at the call of their overlord Donald Trump. The issue is the facts are now up for debate. Proven numbers and statements, court documents, everything is now a debate with these people. If the Democratic Party came out with a statement tomorrow on how the sky is blue, these people would try to tell you that it's red.
The Biden administration has already announced that Bolsonaro lost and then threatened Bolsonaro with consequences if he tries to contest the result of the election in his country. The State Department, the Biden State Department, put out a statement saying that Bolsonaro's defeat, quote, reinforces trust in democratic institutions. Really?
Also, again, missing that irony there, that we have a sordid history as a country with interfering in foreign elections and manipulating leadership. It's yet another part of our past that people like Tucker would rather you simply forget about and instead hold a Bud Light with a flag printed on it. Tucker's dumbed-down version of foreign policy is all crafted to sell you on the idea that we can exist in a world where facts and votes don't matter anymore if it's a Democrat trying to protect those two things. Now, if it's his dude, the leader of the American Taliban, then he is completely on board for any and everything the man does, no matter how ridiculous or dangerous. Tucker Carlson may very well be one of the many people to blame for the downfall of American democracy, and I don't know how much money it takes to sell citizens of a nation fascism. But it's apparent that he's completely comfortable doing it. Too bad no matter how much money he's got to sleep on at night, that won't save him from the climate crisis exacerbated by the people he loves to prop up. And when it affects his life, I wonder if he'll be laughing just the same on his screen, or finally just shuts his stupid mouth, and I guess we'll see. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.